close quote. Some consumers, if not all, are being hit with shock tariff bills after the United States has ended the major exemption. End of the de minimis exemption is wreaking havoc on U.S. consumers, small businesses, and major carriers. Tyrone Bowman live. According to NBC News, in an article written by Rob Wiley. Let's talk about this right now. The bills are sudden and jarring. $1,400 for a computer part from Germany, $620 for an aluminum case from Sweden, and $1,041 for handbags from Spain. Some U.S. shoppers say they are being hit with surprise charges from international shipping carriers as the exemption on import duties for items under $800 expires as part of President Donald Trump's tariff or taxation push. That's leading to some frustration and confusion as shoppers and shippers both try to navigate a new reality for anybody ordering goods from abroad. Quote, it's maximum chaos, end quote, said Nick Baker, co-lead of the chair and consumers practice at Kroll, a firm that advises freight carriers. Thomas Andrews, who runs a business in upstate New York restoring vintage computers from the 1980s and 1990s, said he was shocked to receive a tariff bill from DHL for approximately $1,400 on a part worth $750. He said he assumed there must have been a mistake. That's extortion, Andrews said. Late Friday, a representative for DHL, Andrews, that the initial charge was indeed incorrect. The tariff bill should have only been for about $110, but it was too late. Andrews had already refused shipment to avoid paying the charge. Soon after learning about the corrected charge, he realized DHL had already begun sending the item back to Germany. The final annoyance? Andrews said he's being charged for the return shipping at a cost of about $50. On August 29, for the first time in nearly a century, small dollar items coming into the U.S., also called de minimis goods, began facing import duties. That means even small personal orders now face the sizable tariffs placed on U.S. trading partners. While a recent ruling by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Court Circuit found many of Trump's duties unconstitutional, they remain in effect while Trump appeals the case to the Supreme Court. To comply with the new de minimis rules, a wave of countries have halted shipments to the United States. That's caused postal traffic into the U.S., and it's caused a postal traffic into the U.S. to decline by some 80%, according to a United Nations agency. But many orders are still flowing, and since the new de minimis rule began taking effect, social media platforms have been filled with accounts of U.S. consumers receiving shock bills from major shippers like DHL, FedEx, and UPS, having received no choice about the charges from the foreign merchant they'd ordered from. The shippers in return are being inundated with messages from consumers disputing the charges, along with return to sender requests as the consumers refuse shipments to avoid having to pay the bills. A representative for DHL said the firm is committed to supporting customers through the recent tariff changes and ensuring their shipments are managed efficiently. Quote, close quote. We encourage consumers to take note of the shipping policies of the brands they shop with and to also remember that the tariffs are payable to the U.S. government, quote unquote, he said. The Trump administration has heralded the billions in revenues the tariffs are bringing in, and in the case of the new de minimis rule, argued the change is essential to halting the flow of small-sized illicit drug packages and drug ingredients. In a statement posted the day the new de minimis rules took effect, U.S. Customs and Protection said the logistics industry has already adapted to the changes with minimal interruption. Of course, they want to make it sound all cozy. This change has been months in the making, and we are fully prepared to implement it, said Susan S. Thomas, acting executive assistant consumer or commissioner for CBP's Office of Trade. Foreign carriers and postal operators were given clear timelines and detailed guidance and multiple options to comply. The only thing ending on August 29 is the pathway that has been used by criminals to exploit American borders. Baker said foreign merchants are obligated to provide information to the shipper about the classification of the item, which is key to the tariff calculation, but from a regulatory perspective, the consumer, as the importer of record, is ultimately responsible for the accuracy of that information. But many people are still getting caught off guard. After receiving a tariff bill for $620 on a $300 aluminum computer case from Sweden, Robert Wang decided to turn the shipment away. A software engineer in the San Francisco Bay Area, Wang said he placed his order August 22nd with Loku, a high-end Swedish merchant. More than a week later, he received notice from UPS about the bill. Confusion transitioned into a late-night panic, Wang said as he frantically researched the situation. Eventually, the UPS confirmed he'd been charged the 200% tariff Trump has slapped on certain aluminum goods. Wang said he tried to reach out to Loku about the charge, but did not hear back. The company did not respond to a request for comment from NBC News. In a statement, UPS said it has solutions available to merchants designed to navigate the new environment, but did not address the customer billing situation. Baker said many foreign businesses that rely on U.S. customers now face the dilemma of eating the tariff cost, assuming they are properly accounting for it in the first place, or passing it on to their consumers, which could scare off business. Many merchants abroad have posted to social media to alert U.S. customers that they are suspending shipments there. Some U.S. small businesses are also paying a price. A day after receiving a shipment from Spain for handbags he said were worth about $600, Herm Narcisco said he and his wife, who run a brick and mortar shop in Dunedin, Florida, that resells goods from Europe, got a tariff invoice for $1,041 from DHL. We can't understand how it's possible to assess us with that level of tariffs, Narcisco said. They said they plan to file a dispute, but that the response could take 2 to 4 weeks. Narcisco is worried their shop won't survive the recent changes if they start getting similar bills going forward. Let me put it this way. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses, all the king's men, couldn't put Humpty back together again. Taxation without representation, call it what you want, tariffs. It is going to ruin the economy. And it's going to ruin businesses, small and large alike. Because when consumers and buyers are pushed to the brink, they're not going to continue to buy goods with escalating prices that are running out of control. Those of you that are billionaires, you don't care because it doesn't affect you, because you can always write stuff off on your taxes. But everyday people like me, we're not going to continue to pay high prices for stuff that we may need, but don't necessarily want. Never surrender. Never quit.